Hey, what's up, guys? So, today we're going to talk about what Trump calls his Wasteful Spending Act. And it's got a strong name, and it sounds like it's really going to cut out the corruption and like it's really going to drain the swamp. But let's take a deep look at it and see what it actually is, and more importantly, what it's not.
So, Rosa, what do you say to people who worry that targeting an individual firm or individuals who aren't Jack Smith for his actions?
I've been targeted for 4 years, longer than that. So you don't tell me about targeting. I was the target of corrupt politicians for 4 years, and then 4 years after that. So don't talk to me about targeting.
So, this new policy started under the radical transparency about wasteful spending, and it sounds powerful, like it's aimed at cutting back government abuse and returning power to the people, but the reality is it mostly focuses on money, budgets, and grants, and foreign aid. Things that do need oversight, but it isn't directly about targeting, surveillance, or psychological harassment that many of us are dealing with. They created something called the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE for short. They say it's recovered billions already, but again, this ain't aimed at gangstalking, it's about dollar signs. Now let's get to the real issue here. When we talk about targeting, covert harassment, and deep state surveillance, we're talking about a completely different machine, a hidden system that's been operating for decades, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think any one president can stop this, not even Trump. So I get that some people want to believe that all it takes is one good leader to flip a switch and make all the pain go away, and I wish that was true, but the reality is that this thing is deep and it's rotten to the core, and it's been passed down through agencies, programs, and even community groups that are so brainwashed that they now think this is normal to stalk and harass innocent people. That's not something a budget bill can fix. Some people think that this all started with the Department of Homeland Security, but it didn't. DHS might have given it a legal foundation, but these operations run way beyond just one agency. We're talking rogue contractors, corrupt task force, and local law enforcement groups that are doing favors for federal entities or secret societies, and sometimes even religious groups get pulled in thinking they're doing God's work by surveilling and correcting people who never committed a crime. This targeting is spiritual warfare just as much as it's psychological, and what makes it even worse, even if Trump wanted to shut this down, half of these rogue groups don't even take orders from the government. These clowns have been so brainwashed into thinking that this is okay that this has become their new normal. So here's the question, does Trump's Wasteful Spending Act even touch this stuff? Does it defund programs that support gangstalking or expose surveillance abuse? Not really, at least not yet. Don't get me wrong, I don't mean to be negative, it's just that we have to be honest, and the people that are doing this have been so programmed into thinking that this is okay that they don't need orders anymore. The system has been so normalized that it's going to take decades to unwind this kind of psychological conditioning. So if we go back into history, this kind of targeting didn't just come out of nowhere. It evolved. It grew from older programs like COINTELPRO, where the FBI was already watching, harassing, and trying to destroy people they saw as threats. Today, they've just refined the techniques. They've gone digital. They've even involved the public without them even knowing it. Gangstalking is now part of a global toolkit used to isolate and mentally break people down. The scary part is it's not just about watching you, it's about engineering your reality and making you think that you can't trust anyone, and unfortunately, they've gotten really good at it. They don't need to put people in handcuffs anymore. They don't even need to throw you in a cell. All they need to do is ruin your mind, your relationships, and your peace, and you'll end up isolating yourself. Gangstalking is essential to their end game, and it's not going anywhere. In fact, I think we're going to see even more people being targeted, and not for any real reason. The crazy part is that these gangstalkers don't even know why they're doing what they're doing. They've been told lies and fed misinformation that you're dangerous or you're mentally unstable, and they think they're doing the community a favor by stalking and harassing you. It's psychological trickery on a mass scale, and no bill, no act can undo that overnight. We're living in a time where technology and social conditioning have made it possible for gangstalking to operate in plain sight, and now we've got surveillance balloons, facial recognition, AI-powered databases, and social scoring systems popping up all around the world. Is the Wasteful Spending Act talking about dismantling these tools? Nope.
Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of.
The truth is, the mental and emotional damage has already been done, and for many of us, it's created a deep bitterness, not just towards the government, but towards the whole system. That's what years of being targeted will do to a person. It shakes your faith, it hardens your spirit, and it makes you question what country you really live in. Now let's talk about the structure behind this. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking gangstalking is just a government operation, but that's not the full picture. Yes, some of it comes from government agencies like DHS and the FBI, but the scary part, a lot of this is coming from rogue groups, and these groups don't always answer to Washington, D.C. These groups operate under the radar. Some use outdated or fake watch lists as justification, others just do it because they've been conditioned to think you're a threat or that you need correcting. But no trial, no charges, no evidence, just whispers, rumors, and silent punishment. And this is going to sound crazy to some people, but churches are involved. Not all of them, but some. And these groups often don't even know they're part of a bigger picture. They just think it's a local issue. But what they don't realize is that this is a global system of control. This is exactly how the New World Order wants it to work. Have everyday people become the enforcers of surveillance and control without ever realizing it. So let's go back to Trump's Wasteful Spending Act. Ask yourself this, is it cutting funding to these rogue operations? Is it shutting down illegal surveillance in neighborhoods? Is it auditing fusion centers or challenging the use of psychological harassment in the name of public safety? No, at least not yet. It's mostly about cutting grants to foreign countries, and I understand people are frustrated by that stuff, but those aren't the weapons that are being used to destroy us from within. Psychological targeting is the weapon. And like I said earlier, this is going to get worse before it gets any better, because once a system like this is in place and people have gotten used to it, they don't stop just because the president changes. Even if Trump or any president stood up tomorrow and said no more targeting, there's still going to be thousands of people out there who have been brainwashed to believe that this harassment is justice. In my opinion, it's going to take decades to reverse the damage that's already been done and to break the conditioning and mindset from these robots. So while I hope the Wasteful Spending Act is a small step towards cleaning this mess up, I doubt it, because the problem is way deeper than dollars and cents. It's about control. It's about the New World Order using silent tools to bring people into submission and without using guns or tanks. Gangstalking is one of the best tools they've ever created, and they're not going to give it up easily. That's why we need to stay awake and speak out, and never let them convince us that this is normal, because it never will be. And this isn't just an American problem anymore. Gangstalking has become global. I've heard stories from Greece, Australia, Canada, the UK, Mexico, and just about every country you can name. They might use different names, but the tactics are the same. Organized harassment, surveillance, V2K, community involvement. That tells you this isn't just a policy issue, it's an agenda. It's organized, it's systematic, and it's evil. And now with everything going digital, with smart cities, biometric surveillance, predictive algorithms, it's only going to expand. They're setting up a world where anyone can be targeted at any time for any reason or no reason at all. The younger generations are walking right into it. Most don't even realize they're being conditioned. Their phones are tracking them, their smart TVs are listening, and their social behavior is being logged and scored. What starts as safety slowly turns into silent oppression. That's why we need to speak out now, because if we don't, future generations are going to grow up thinking that this is just how life is. But it's not normal, it's not okay, and if no one speaks up, if no one tells the truth, it's only going to get worse. Trump's Wasteful Spending Act might make some headlines, but it's not dismantling the machine. It's not calling out the corruption inside local law enforcement, fusion centers, or private contractors. It's not pulling back the military-grade tech being used on civilians. It's going to take more than one man and more than one bill. Now let's talk about the money, because believe it or not, this is a business, and it's a big one, and a lot of people are getting paid big checks to keep it running. You've got private contractors doing surveillance work in neighborhoods, you've got security companies billing cities for threat assessments, you've got psychologists, caseworkers, and medical experts diagnosing people they never even sat down with. Then you've got tech companies selling software to track your every move. It's a whole industry built on paranoia and control, and it runs on federal grants, national security money, and in homeland security programs. Some of these people don't even know they're involved in targeting. They just think they're monitoring threats, but others, they know exactly what they're doing, and they'll do anything to keep those checks rolling in. And again, I'm not saying this to bash Trump. I hope he's serious about draining the swamp, but gangstalking isn't just swamp water, it's sewer level deep. It's hidden inside public safety, mental health, and counterterrorism. They're all fancy labels that amount to private justice and torture. These programs aren't just about fear, they're about money, data, and control, and the people behind it, they'll use any excuse to expand their power. It doesn't matter whether it's terrorism, crime, COVID, school shootings, aggravated assaults, it doesn't matter. If they can label you a risk, they've got a reason to track you, stalk you, and experiment on you, and they'll get paid while doing it. So I doubt that the system will collapse tomorrow, and I doubt that these groups will get exposed this year, and no single bill, not even Trump's Wasteful Spending Act, will fix decades of corruption, psychological warfare, and organized harassment. But you speaking out and speaking the truth, that's what matters. Alrighty guys, these were just my thoughts on Trump's Wasteful Spending Act. If you feel that this video helped, share it with someone. Alrighty guys, take care.